Reserve has just ended quantitative tightening as of December 1st. Today, quantitative tightening has halted. The next logical assumption is quantitative easing, where the Fed is adding assets to the balance sheet. Do I hear the money printer? Oh, yes, I do. The liquidity is crawling back into the system and Bitcoin is getting ready for blast off. Let's get into the video. Welcome back to the show. My name is JT and you're watching Black Box Trading. In today's show, we're going to be mixing a little bit of the fundamental macro and the technicals to give you a better picture as to what I've been saying for the last couple of weeks. We are still in a bull market. Did you guys buy the dip? Did you watch my last video where I was screaming at you to counter trade the herd and buy the dip? That was at 86K, by the way. We're currently sitting at 92.7 on our way to plus 100K. If you enjoyed that video or you're enjoying this one, don't forget to hit the like button. Now, if you want the real-time alerts from me, what you're going to need to do is join the Discord. So there's a QR code popping up on the screen right now. If you don't know anything about crypto and you're wanting to go from crypto zero to crypto hero, definitely scan that QR code and get yourself into the Discord. Limited spots available, so please give us your email and the reason why you would like to join. If you want our entries, exits, take profits, stop losses, all of the info that can help you become a better trader is available for free in the Discord. Check out the links below. And if you are already trading this volatility and you're looking for an exchange that has good tooling, good liquidity, and really small spreads and low fees, BitGet is the exchange that I use. It's the exchange that I trust. And if you want to get up to $50,000 in sign-up bonuses, then click on the link down below or scan the QR code that's popping up on the screen. All right, now that we've done our duty to keep the lights on, let's get into the content. Let's talk macro because this is a big one. As of December 1st, the Federal Reserve has stopped quantitative tightening. What does this mean? It means that they're no longer selling their bags into the market. There is no longer this massive force of supply pressing the entire market down, pressing down the indexes, individual stocks, even the treasuries market. We have been rallying in the face of quantitative tightening, and now all of that pressure is about to be released. If you were bullish at all before, you should be exponentially more bullish now because we are getting ready to ascend it. They've stopped reducing the balance sheet. Liquidity is no longer being drained from the system. And this historically marks the low. This is when the markets begin to speculate on quantitative easing, where they're adding assets to the balance sheet. For those who don't know what all this technical jargon means, it means the money printer is about to... Secondly, in news, we got a little interesting comment coming from Elon Musk. Is he now a Bitcoin bull? We can only speculate, but here is a clip from Elon Musk.
There's still some fundamental currencies, if you will, that are physics-based. So energy is the true currency. This is why I said Bitcoin is based on energy. You can't legislate energy. You can't just, pass a law and suddenly have a lot of energy. It's very difficult to generate energy, or especially to harness energy in a useful way to do useful work. So I think that probably we won't have money, and probably we'll just have energy, power generation as the de facto currency.
Now, those of you who have been watching me for a long time, and those who have been participating in the Discord and getting to know me on a more personal level, you'll know that I have maintained this stance about Bitcoin for years. Is an energy currency. This is not new to me. It's just new to a lot of people because now Elon Musk is talking about it. But because Bitcoin is mined with so much energy, it is denominated in the amount of energy required to mine a Bitcoin. It is an energy currency. We've seen this idea multiple times. Projects have tried to repackage it and sell it to retail. I'm sure a lot of you remember Power Ledger or Energy Web Token. I always scoffed at those because I would look at what they're saying. We're an energy web token. And I would just think to myself, have you heard of Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin truly is an energy denominated currency. And this is something that's been prophesized For decades, Henry Ford of the Ford Motor Companies said way back in the 50s or 60s, I don't actually know, I'll pop it up on the screen right now, the exact quote and time. He was saying that one day the world will have an energy-backed currency. That currency, my friends, is Bitcoin. So is this setting the stage for some of the largest tech giants in the industry today to start showing favorable interest towards Bitcoin, creating a favorable narrative towards Bitcoin? That, I digress, is much more of a speculation, but an interesting comment nonetheless. Now, with the macro and the speculation out of the way, let's take a look at the charts. Well, would you look at that? It looks like our trade is working out, currently sitting at around a 7% move up. My extended targets here are above $107,000 here, just before we start to take profits on this. This is a leveraged play position that will just funnel right back into the spot position. So once we close this trade out, we'll be sitting pretty and riding this spot to, honestly, it sounds overly bullish, and I always need to temper my enthusiasm when I'm being overly bullish. I think that we're going to see all-time highs. I think this year is going to close out green. I think that we are going to see at least a level above. Let's take a look. What's the 12-month for us to turn green? It's not much, really. We're already almost there. For us to flip green, we just need to get up above 95K. I mean, that's easy. That's easy. I thought that that was going to be something that's hard to achieve. Clearly not hard to achieve, us getting back above 95K for us to flip back green. So this year will end up, in my opinion, being a green year. So this 4-year cycle that, people on Bitcoin podcasts, I'm not going to name any names, but there's quite a lot of bearishness in the mainstream Bitcoin content out there. And I just don't think that that is well founded whatsoever. So we made the entry back here in November 20th. Proof is in the pudding. Don't trust, verify. Here it is right here, 7:07 a.m. on the 21st. Asia time, it's different from UTC, but there's the entry right there. I'm going long, placing orders at the close. We got in. I made a private video for you guys that you get when you come into the Discord, and then reminded you again on this most recent dip. I said, hey, if you were too chicken to buy the original entry, here's your second entry, and there you go. This is the one that's moving. The trade's looking good. I'm expecting higher levels. Taking a look at the moving averages on the daily, we are back on top of the 7. We're currently underneath the 30 and the 50. So we're not out of the woods yet. There's plenty of overhead resistance. Currently, the 30 is sitting at around 95,000 and the 50 is sitting at that psychological 100K level. I think we're going to experience a recovery because of how negative the market is. When the market's really negative, you've run out of sellers. When there's no sellers, there's no sell pressure. If there's no sell pressure, we go up. It's the natural state of the market here. We definitely have some technical resistance, but we have favorable sentiment, in my opinion. Sentiment is really negative. People are calling for a bear market, but that's the good part of sentiment. That's what gives price the ability to break through these resistance points as people realize that they're wrong and have to FOMO in at higher levels. It's an easy way to break through those resistances. So that's the moving averages. Let's go down to the 4-hour. We just got a bullish cross. The 7 is just crossing above the 30. That's healthy. We're just breaking above this resistance right here. Where do I get this resistance from? How am I measuring this? It's from the breakdown of this distributional channel over here. From the breakdown, if we put that in frame and turn the VPVR on, that is the point of control. We are currently above the point of control, which means bulls are in control. Bears are in control below this red line. Bulls are in control above that line. But here's the interesting part. Look at the volume die off here. You don't see another spike in volume till 101K. Sure, you'll get a little blip at 95, which is also where that 30 daily moving average is sitting, but it's much less resistance than what we currently just broke through of that 92K level. So not a ton of resistance till we're up at that 100K level. That's the psychological level. You're going to see resistance at 100K, but once we break past that 110, 120, it's really easy for it to move beyond that point. So I'm bullish. I've remained bullish. I did not get shaken out. I know a lot of people got shaken out. I know a lot of OGs who have been selling, and that's contributing to the downwards price action of Bitcoin. A lot of people, a huge amount of this market is convinced that the top came in October, that the 4-year cycle is intact. I don't believe it for a second. There are too many fundamental reasons as to why we are going to continue. We have had a bull market up to $126,000 in the face of monetary policy that was working against us. And now that monetary policy is flipping to work for us, and everybody's bearish. Makes no sense to me. So I'm bullish. Let's take a look at the RSI. Huge rebound. I actually don't like how fast this RSI has gone here. You do technically have a bearish divergence here. If we take a look at this, you got a higher high on the RSI. If we go over here, you got a high, a lower high, high, and a higher high. So there is some resistance here. Now, here's the thing about bearish divergence that kind of screws with a lot of people is they'll see a move at a resistance and they'll be like, oh, it's bearish divergence, but it's really nothing for you to break past that. Let's get the right tool on here. For you to break past that, and then it's not bearish divergence anymore. It's confluent. You have a high and then a higher high, just like price will have a high and then a higher high. So be careful with bearish divergences. Context is everything. Never use one indicator alone. Have 2 indicators at a minimum. You have a bias indicator and an action indicator. You have one kind of higher time frame indicator that you look at that's going to tell you that you're biased towards a long. In this case, in this instance, I was biased towards a long because of sentiment. Now, the easiest thing that you can look at to help you understand that bias is the green diamonds. So alphanumerics green diamond. When the green diamonds come in, I'm looking for long setups. I'm biased long from that point because the sentiment is so negative. And then you have an action. The action here is the bullish cross on the 4-hour, or you could do the break of the VPVR. You have your bias and you have your action. The two need to line up for you to take an action on your position. That's what I recommend. You don't have to, there is no correct way to analyze the market and use these indicators. At the end of the day, these green candles, these green and red candles, it's just monkeys buying and selling bananas, right? There's no rhyme or reason to it. With a large enough data set, you can remove a lot of the noise. But at the end of the day, these candlesticks that we look at as concrete data, it's human beings, and human beings are imperfect beings. So you need to recognize that imperfect nature of humans and be willing to be wrong with your assumptions. I've been trading this asset a long time. The whimpers of the herd, and when the herd is hurting, I am loading up. So far, it's been a really good strategy. If you are taking advantage of this huge discount in Bitcoin, I recommend BitGet. You can use it for acquiring Bitcoin. You can use it to buy stocks like MicroStrategy. You can use it to buy any altcoins that you think are at a discount, which a lot of them are, by the way. We're not going to focus on altcoins in today's video, but do subscribe because I cover the altcoin rotation in detail. Tune into Sunday's show where we're going to start doing a live stream once per week. This was a live stream focused channel for a while, but I've started doing shorter, more digestible videos because they're more hard hitting for the news and events you really need during the week. Sunday live stream where it's more of a Q&A and we can take a look at anything you want to look at. If you want to look at XRP, we'll look at XRP. If you want to look at Cardano, we'll look at Cardano. If you want to look at Tau or Ordinals or any of that stuff, and we can get a temperature check on the market, as I do believe we're going to see a rotation. That's what the Sunday show is going to be. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this content. Leave me a comment down below, by the way, if you are enjoying the change here. Anyways, back to the plug on BitGet, $50,000 in sign-up bonus. Scan the QR code popping up on the screen right now, and definitely go check them out because they're the only ones I use. It's the only centralized exchange that I personally use. We are partnered with other ones, and I have used other ones, but me personally, I use BitGet. Other members on the team, they use other ones. They're all great. It's just once you find an exchange that you like, you typically stick with it. And for me, that's BitGet. All right, now let's just wrap things up in a nice little bow. So the Fed, it's ending QT. bullish. The market will begin to price QE, bullish. Bitcoin's technicals, incredibly clean, bullish. Bitcoin sentiment, incredibly negative, bullish. This is exactly where the macro trend. Load your bag. I don't know how to convince you. I try my best to give people the right information at the right time, and it's just never well received. It's never well received. Let me know what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I'm not doing anything wrong. Maybe I'm just giving you guys the right information at the right time. It just so happens that the human emotion connected with the right time to buy Bitcoin is just the point at which most people are most beaten down, and they just don't want to hear it. Let me know what you guys think, because I am getting tired with some of the responses. This has been my channel's biggest strength for the entirety of the channel. When it is the most important time to double down, when it is the most important time to fill your bags, I come out with a lot of energy, and I come out and say, wake the fuck up, pull you up by your bootstraps, smack you around and say, snap out of it. The herd is making a mistake. Get into position. And it's just not well received. If you check back on my channel, look at every macro swing. Look at every hit of despair in the market when everybody and their dog is telling you it's over. I consistently come on here and tell you this is the moment before Bitcoin's big parabolic rise. I've been doing it for 3 cycles now. Let me know your comments down below. We'll wrap things up, a little bit of a longer show, kind of a little ranty. Let me know if you guys like that. And until next time, please trade safe. It is a jungle out there. Like, subscribe, do all the things. And I'll see you guys at the top. Peace.